Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ravenport and episode 26 of our Let's Play series. So we're just on our way up to the ranch to sell off the last of the trailer of sugar beet from the previous episode's harvest. I'm pretty much continuing this episode from where we left off on the last one, so I haven't skipped any time, basically because we skipped a day ahead of where we should have been because of the rain before the last one. But I may as well just carry straight on from where we are. So we've got fields 19 and 23 need to be harvested, so that's the barley and canola. So we're going to get those done. So we just need to sell this sugar beet so we can get this trailer emptied, so we can use that then to cart the crops off those fields. So again, we're not going to get a huge amount off this one. And I think a full trailer load was... Let's just change the... Nope. There we go. That's better. The full trailer was around about 9,500, so probably only going to go around about 6,500, 7,000 for this in total. So yeah, around about just under 7,000 with the first little bits that were sold before we changed it over. So we're up to $87,063. I have done two small fertilising contracts on field 21 and 22 just quickly while I was bringing the fertiliser spreader back from the other fields. So we'll head down to the farm and then we'll get started on field 19, getting that harvested. Okay, so we've jumped into the combine and we'll start off with field 19, which is the canola. We'll get this one done first. We'll get the pig's feed trough completely topped up. If there's any left, we'll put it in the silos, because obviously with the sugar beets there's no way of storing it in this silo. I have got a couple of modded silos that do accept root crops, but we'll just put it in our silo as we're not going to replace that. So we'll have... That's if we actually have any excess off this field. I'm not sure what the how much we're actually going to get. And then we'll move on to getting the barley done in 19. I think possibly it might be worth leasing the loading wagon again, or possibly just buying a loading wagon rather than keep leasing it, because it would be handy to have one. So we do have the money to get one, but I do want to get that bigger seeder and new tractor as well. So quite a lot of things I want to try and buy, and not much money at the moment to buy them. But we have got the horses, which are going to start bringing in a bit more money again soon. Well, that's going to be a few in-game days yet before we're at a point any of those are ready to take. We do have some wool to sell and some eggs, but we're not going to get enough money to buy the seeder and the new tractor, as well as get a loading wagon as well. So I think we may just lease one again, because they're not expensive to lease. We will make that money back from selling the straw, rather than disable the straw swath and let that straw go to waste. And we can finish topping up the pigs' straw as well, because that's gone down quite a bit since we put those that load of straw in last time. A few things we need to get done as well is field 18, we need to get the lime spread on that one, and also we need to go over it with the subsoiler to remove the requirement of it needing ploughing. So hopefully we can try and get those done as well, and then we're going to replant that one with some corn. I don't think we'll get time to do 14 and 15 with the soybeans as well. We'll just have to see how we get on. Okay, so we're just finishing off the second pass around the headlands. What we'll do, we'll unload the combine, and then we'll set a worker off to continue this, and then we'll go over to field 18. We've got some lime spread on that one. and then we can get that switched over and get some fertiliser on, and then get the subsoiler to get that done as well. So if we just unload this, I've already unloaded around about 5,000 litres into the trailer, so we're probably about 50% full on that. So we'll add around about 10,000 litres so far, so we'll probably get at least another 10, maybe another 20,000 litres off the field, possibly. So it might not be enough off this one field to completely fill up the feed trough, but we'll leave a worker to that. We'll head up to field 18 and we'll get the maximum. I've already got it up there ready with the lime waiting to go. Okay, so we're up at the pig farm. As I said, we've got the lime already filled up in the spreader, so we can get straight on with this. It's not going to take too long at all, in the fact that it's a fairly small field. It would be nice to get some lime contracts, although you'd probably be filling up your spreader on some of the large fields quite often. Maybe one of the reasons why they didn't add lime contracts into the game, because it doesn't go very far. Another one that would have been nice if they'd have done is at least having the option when you do a harvesting contract for like wheat or barley or oats, to have an option to also bale up the straw as part of the contract, just to earn a bit of extra money. Whether that would be worth doing, I don't know, or whether they could do it as an option. So I'm presuming a lot of people probably wouldn't bother doing the contract if you had to do the harvest, transport the crop and to do the baling, but if it was like mandatory you had to do all of that for the contract, but having the option to, once you've completed the harvest, that section of the job, to say whether you want the extend the contract to do the baling, I don't know, whether it was something that could be possible to do, I'm not sure, but if it would, maybe a good addition to the contract's work, having that little bit of extra to do. So I said this isn't going to take too long at all, and then we'll go and get the fertiliser put back in this, which I've completely way overfilled the spreader. I completely filled it up, so we're going to end up with loads of bags of lime sitting around. I'd rather have overfilled it though than not put enough in and have to go all the way back to top up. We'll just get this one last little bit done. And then we'll head back down, we'll get this changed over to fertiliser. We'll get the layer of fertiliser on, then we can also get the subsoiling done then. And get this ready for planting with corn. So it's not going to take too long to do, it's quite a small field. And as I mentioned before, we'll keep it as it is rather than trying to extend this one. So when we come to do root crops again, it's going to be a nice easy field to harvest. Although this end up this side we could do with a little bit more headland room, but it's not a massive issue. So we'll just take a few passes off that end first to give us a bit more room. So I'm going to get this changed over, and then we'll get that fertiliser spread on 18. Okay, so we're all changed back over to the fertiliser. I have repaired the spreader as well, as it was down to about 30%, which I hadn't noticed. So we'll get some fertiliser spread on this. Again, it's not going to take long. And what we'll do, we'll get the subsoiler attached onto this tractor, and then we'll leave a worker to do this. Nice square field, so it shouldn't have any issues doing that. And then we'll go and get field 23 harvested, so we'll get the barley out of that. I have emptied the combine again, so I think we've got around about 19,000 litres in the trailer down there, so that's nearly full, so we can get that up here and top up the feed trough. I really don't think we're going to fill the feed trough completely for the protein section, which is the canola, sunflower or soybeans, so we may have to look at getting some more planted in one of the two fields just to get that topped up. So we'll get this finished off. I've probably presume, I mean, barley's a much higher yielding crop than canola, so we may get enough barley to completely fill that section. Yeah, but we'll see. So that's the fertilising done, so that should give us a first fertilisation state on 18. So yeah, it requires ploughing. Yeah, so we've got the first fertilisation state on that, so we just need to get that ploughed and then we can get that planted. So we'll get back over to 19 and finish that off. There's not much left to do on it at all, and then we'll get 23 done. And so I'll get the worker set up on subsoiling that one first, so that can be working away at that while we're getting the other stuff done. Okay, so the worker's set up on the subsoiler. We're just finishing off 19, so there's only this little bit to do here. So we're going to have enough to completely fill the trailer, and then we're only going to have probably about 4,000 litres left. Probably not even that. Yeah, not even that. Probably about 3,000 litres spare from filling up the trailer, so we didn't get a huge amount off this field at all. So we'll get this topped up. Oh, so 2,700 litres spare from the fall trailer. So we'll get this over to the pigs and get it into the feed trough. Definitely looks like next time we do a canola, I did say in the previous episode about using field 18 and just rotating the crops. It should be enough. If you did it often enough, it probably would be, just to keep it topped up every now and then, because the rate at which crops grow, 10 days worth of food, you probably get about 2 harvests of each crop type before you get to the 10 days. So you could still do it, but I'd rather get enough to completely fill up and then not have to worry about it at all for a long while. So I think next time we'll have to probably do 2 fields of the one type, or possibly look to buy one of these fields up here as well. Roughly 21 or 22, I think it is. What is it? Yeah, 21 and 22, to use for the pigs as well. So we'll get this put in. I say annoyingly that our trailer is not quite big enough to have fitted all in, so we are going to have to come back up here with that little bit. I may just put it into the silo rather than come all the way up here with just 2,000 litres. So that's the canola in. So we are, yeah, not even 50% full. So presuming they'll probably take around about the same as the potatoes and sugar beets, so 50 odd thousand litres. So yeah, we're definitely going to need some more of that type sooner rather than later. So we'll get over to 23 and get our barley and see how much we get off that field. Okay, so what we're going to do is just put the rest of this canola just into the silo. Just rather than bring the trailer all the way back to take it up to the pigs now, we'll just leave it in there for now. One other thing I want to quickly do is just check the condition of the header. I can't remember if we've repaired it recently. Definitely needs repairing now. I'll just crash it into the building. So it's not too bad. We'll just repair it while we're here. I must have done it after we last used it. So we'll get over to 23 and get that one harvested. We do need to do a bit of work down here, cleaning on the feed troughs and I think topping up the water of the sheep as well. So we also need to turn the cutter off so we can get these straw swaths. And we'll get our barley done. What I'll probably do with this as well is I'll probably do a couple of passes round the headlands and then we'll get a worker to take over the middle section. Probably by that point we'll have the subsoiling will be done on 18, so we can go and get the planter. And I don't know, as I was saying about putting corn in, but I don't know whether to do to be honest, I would say canola in there, but I don't know if we'll get enough off that. So we may have to do canola in this field. We'll see. We'll get the headlands done first. We'll worry about that one when we're ready to put the crop in. Okay, so again, just finishing off the second pass around the headlands. So what we'll do, we'll unload the combine into the trailer, and then we'll set a worker off on this. The subsoiling is not quite finished yet. I've just had to go and move it over because the trailer was in the way, so it was blocking him, the worker. So he's still got a little bit left to do on that. So what I might have to do is get this field finished off. I don't know. Smash off the auger with on the post. Barley wise, we're getting obviously a lot more yield off this, so we're going to have a lot more to put in. I don't know if we'll get enough to completely fill the trough. Possibly not, but we probably won't be far off. So that's the first two bits done, so we'll get a worker started off now. I'll just bring it over a bit, so hopefully I'll get all of that at the top. We'll see. So we've got 14,000 litres in here already, which is quite a bit actually, considering we've only done 2 passes around the headlands. So we'll let him carry on with that, and we'll go and finish off the subsoiling so we can get that one planted. I'll quickly nip up to 14 and 15 and just do that last little corner because it's bugging me that he's seeing that a different colour. So we'll get that done and then that'll be completely ready for planting as well. This is where we could do with the other tractor. So we've got another bigger tractor to actually start doing the planting. So we've got that one tied up on the trailer carting and the Maxim, which it did work with the planter, but it was a little bit small. We could possibly swap those over and use this one. Okay, so the workers finished the subsoiling and I've swapped the tractor over, so we've got the Maxim on the trailer now. I've got the planter up on the Magnum and we'll head over here in a minute to get this field planted. So what we'll do first is just unload the trailer because it's full. There's still a little bit left to do in the field, but not a huge amount. I don't think we'll get another full trailer. So if we just back this up and empty this one. So that should take the pigs up. So we've got 100% productivity now, and with 30 pigs we're down to 6 hours 15 minutes on each. So that's 12.5 hours. We're going to have 2 pigs, which isn't too bad. So we've got 20,000, well, just under 21,000 litres of soybeans and 21,000 litres of barley. So we've got in there. So we've got all food types now and 100% productivity, which is what we wanted. So we don't have to worry now. That should last them at least 5 days with what we've got in there. So there's no need to worry overly about filling up the rest. But it would be nice to get them fully topped up so we don't have to worry about them for even longer. So what we'll do, we'll get back, I'll switch over to the Magnum and then we can get our fields planted. So I say there's not much left to do on this field, probably another 3-4 passes up and down. Our combine's going to need empty again in a minute. So we'll probably get another 15,000 litres off that. Okay, so we're over in the Magnum with the planter on. Field 23 is all done now. I think there's around about 14,000 litres in the trailer. So we'll get that over into the pigs before we finish up. So we'll go and get 19 done and then we'll head up to 14 and 15 and we'll get some soybeans planted in there. And then what we'll do is, I think we'll do 23 with canola, and then we'll do field 19 with probably sunflowers, just for something a little bit different. I don't think we've done sunflowers yet. So let's get this unfolded. I do think the front hopper on this is supposed to really be filled with fertiliser rather than seed. So the fertiliser section on the back is so small, which I think is that section at the top. I don't know, is that a GPS? That's a GPS signal tracker at the top. Yeah, so I don't know about the fertiliser, whether it's the smaller sections on the front of the hopper box. I don't quite know where the pipes connect up from the front section onto the back, or how this actual thing works. But we'll just keep it with seed in the front, and then we'll go over it again with the fertiliser spreader. So one other thing I've done is I've completely disabled weeds on this save game now. Basically, it's because of the way I'm doing the videos, and because I'm actually doing the videos, I like to kind of skip over through the night between episodes, so every episode is basically a new day, and the episode is basically showing the day's tasks of what we're doing. But the problem is with the weeds is, I think if I had weeds on, every episode would be starting off with dealing with weeds, or I'd have to do a lot of work dealing with the weeds off camera, which then reduces the amount of time I've actually got to do the videos, because I'm spending more time off camera doing stuff. I personally like to try, although yeah, I can't show exactly everything we do on camera, I do like to try and minimise the amount of work I do off camera and between episodes, unless it's forestry work, because really hate that. Well, no, it's not that I hate forestry work. It's I didn't really enjoy doing the cutting trees up with chainsaws and throwing them onto the back of the trailer. To the point where I really didn't want to do much of that on camera, so I only did a little bit. So I did quite a lot of that off camera, but yeah, it's that kind of thing. It'll be, hey, welcome to the episode. We've got to go and kill all the weeds off or remove the weeds from this field and that field. So I have disabled them. Let me know what your thoughts on that. If you'd rather me keep them on, then I'll put them back on. But for now, they are off. One other thing I really dislike about it is when you in the middle of harvesting a field and weeds start popping up. I just think they grow far too fast. I'm really hoping when seasons does come out that the way they implement weeds into it is going to kind of work a lot better than it does. I suppose if you're playing on your own and you're not doing the videos, you're not skipping the days as often, then it wouldn't be so much of an issue with the weeds. But for now, yeah, so I've turned them off. It's not something I really wanted to do because it's obviously a feature of the game now, and it just adds that extra thing to do. But okay, so just finishing off field 18. I'm a bit wary of the time, so we probably won't get 14 and 15 done. I don't want the video to be too long, so we'll get that switched off. So what I'm going to do is we'll go and get the trailer with the rest of the wheat in, barley, sorry. We'll get the pig's trough topped up, and then I'll go and get the loading wagon and get some of the straw in. And I'll probably finish off selling the straw that we've got off that field off camera. I did a lot of that in the other episode, just going around the field with the loading wagon in the time lapse, so we'll just get that done off camera. Okay, so we've got the rest of the barley, so we'll put this into the feed trough, and then that's all the food we've got to give them for now. I really do want to get the landscape and that finished around here, but also want to start saving up money so we can get the new tractor and seeder. So I think we may have to wait a little bit before we get this finished off. But at least all their food's in now, and you know, they can start reproducing. It's not going to take long before we get to a point where we can start selling some off and earning some money off the pigs. The sheep are not long off going to be full maximum capacity, so when they reach 80 we'll take a trailer load of sheep to sell, just so then they've got more space to reproduce. So the chickens, obviously I'll give up selling chickens because it's just not worth it. You get about $100 selling some off to make a bit of space, although it does add up a little bit. You know, it could cover your cost of filling up your seeder or something every now and then. So the horses, we are 37,000 on Turbo and Crystal. I think they're the closest ones to being fully trained. And then we've got Trooper and Venus at 32,000. Mufasa, someone's obviously a Lion King fan. And yeah, Iolanthe. I'm presuming that's the correct pronunciation of that name. It's not a name I don't recognise. So 27,000 they're worth, so 54% trained. And then we've got Virgo and Annabelle at 22,000, which are the ones furthest off being fully trained at 44%. So they're going to be up to about 37,000. I think it's around about 5,000 per day. So they're about another 4 days off before we get the money off those. Obviously we could sell them now and make a fair bit of money off them. In terms of wool, I have got the mod now, the wool pallet, which has got increased capacity, so we don't have as many pallets to deal with when we do sell them, which I will be putting in. I'll probably buy some of those in between the next episode. So the pigs, we just need the straw, so we'll go and get the loading wagon, we'll lease that, and we'll fill up their straw. Canola, we definitely need to top up. Corn, we do have a little bit left in the silo, so I can top that up. There is a little bit of soybeans in there that I'll bring up as well before the next one, so we do want to get 23 planted with canola. Just to top that up a bit, so their reproduction rate is down to 5 hours now. So that's nearly 5 pigs per day, so that would be nearly 10 pigs per day of both of them. So we should be up to around about 35 starting the next episode, probably a little bit more than that, 36, so that'll be what, 72 in total. So we're not going to be far off reaching capacity, and then we can start selling some. In terms of manure, we're already up to 8,400 litres of manure and 10,000 litres of slurry. So again, they're going to start filling up quite a bit, and then we can look again a manure spreader and a slurry tanker so we can get some of that spread. So we'll go and get the loading wagon. As it's one of those things as well, as I mentioned about turning the weeds off, because I like to skip time. I don't want to do too many episodes stuck on the same in-game day, because you're not producing any of the manure or slurry or, you know, the reproduction of the pigs and things. We've spent 2 episodes on this one game day, so I really want to do progress. So again, we'll lease the Stroutman as it's the cheapest one. So we'll go and get this filled up and top up the pigs. What I'll do as well is I'll top up the horsey straw and then sell the rest. So we're not going to make a huge amount, it's probably exactly the same as what we made last time we did it. Oh, I didn't think he was going to turn that way. Yeah, that was probably my fault. Not paying attention. For some reason I saw the car, but for whatever reason I just expected him to turn the opposite direction. Oh well, accidents do happen. It's a good job you don't get fined in game for crashing into civilian vehicles and such. Okay, so we've got the first full load of straw. What we'll do is just top up the pigs and then we'll leave it for this episode. I'll continue getting the rest of the straw off the field. I'll top up the horsey straw as well, and then we'll just sell the rest over at the barn. And what I'll also do is probably get fields 14 and 15 planted with soybeans, so that's done. Really wanted to try and get that done today, but just don't have the time to do much more, and I'm completely losing my mind and trying to fill up the food trough with straw. That's not where it goes. Right, so we'll put it in the correct place. That will work a little bit better. So yeah, I'll continue getting the rest of the straw in. I'll get 14 and 15 planted with soybeans. 19 and 23 I'll leave because I'm not going to get time to do those. So we'll try and get those done in the next episode. As I said, we'll do 19 with sunflowers and 23 we'll do with canola and get those done. As to what else we'll do, I don't know. We'll possibly have some wool and eggs to sell, and maybe some sheep if they've reached capacity. I don't think they will have done. But anyway, yeah, we'll leave it at the pigs again. I think we've done a few episodes on pigs, so I want to try and move away from the pigs and do something else in the next episode or so. So I'll have a look and see what needs doing and what we can do. So if you've enjoyed the episode, please give it a thumbs up. Really do appreciate it. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, then please do consider subscribing. I've got new Farm Simulator 19 videos coming every day. And if you do have any questions, comments or suggestions, feedback, then please do leave it in the comment section. Any questions I will try and answer as soon as I can. So thank you again for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you again. Goodbye.